Like, I'm
I'm
just making
giving
sure, like, you're ready.
I'm giving respect to people who have earned it. Like, come on now.
Respect is crazy. Like, that's
Respect.
you freaked out, is what it is.
So
You're just freaked out. Let's get it going.
Won't you stop and take a little time out with me? Just take five.
Take five on time. You heard me? You already know what we do. At Take Five Pod on all platforms. Except Facebook because Facebook, for whatever reason, doesn't want to work. We already connected it, but they talk about I gotta wait a few weeks in order to get the stream going. So I don't really know what that's about, but Facebook, you can get it together, no matter whatever it is. So, anywho, at Take Five Pod, how we doing, gentlemen? Joey, how we feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling good.
What you were snacking on there?
I was eating a nice little steak burrito, something slight.
from where? Home?
This place called Burrito Paria. It's like La Burrito Paria Mexicana. I don't know if there's any like outside of Illinois, but really good.
No, I've never heard of that, but I'm gonna check it out though when I pull up.
It's kind of fire.
Definitely never heard of that. As long as it's not cooking with Jew, you're gonna still be standing in the morning. But what's up, Jew? How you feeling?
Man, I feel great, man. I just watched a beautiful performance last night by
Whoa.
one of my favorite players, one of my top two favorite players. I just watched a complete masterclass. Now I'm on the pod, which I feel great. Had a good work day today. Just got back 5 minutes ago, 6 minutes ago. So I'm blessed.
No gag reflex at all.
That's crazy.
Experienced it with it. Like, it's really crazy. But
Bro.
anyway, you know what we're here to do. We got real sports. We are so back. We are so back, and it's the most wonderful time of the year. It really is. But we're gonna get straight into it. I mean, you see this. I was saying something unsavory about this man, but you see this former NBA player, Landry Fields, the former GM, general manager of the Hawks organization. He was let go, so that's where I want to start. I want to get this out the way. So let's talk about it really quickly. So I'll open it up to the pod. General reactions of the Hawks after another disappointing season, letting go of their general manager. I want to hear from Drew first because he has lived in the state once before. So I just want to see, hear how you feel as Hawks being one of your third or fifth teams or whatever that you like.
It's my second team. I mean, actually, not because it's not. It's not, but it is. Like team wise, it is, but players wise, not. But anyways, reactions from the Hawks. I mean, this is kind of what we expected. At least this is what I expected. We know what the Hawks are, and they've been this since we were kids. Like, to be honest, they haven't been anything different since we've been alive. They've been making wrong decisions pretty much at every turn, maybe with a few good decisions sprinkled in along the way. But Landry, I mean, it was time for him to go. The Hawks haven't won a playoff series in a few seasons, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, have they won a playoff series under him?
They have, I believe. Landry Fields had been there. Well, I can look it up, but I believe they have.
Okay, but yeah, they haven't won a playoff series in the last few years. And people like Morgan would tell you that this man on your right, Trae Young, is a superstar. If you have a superstar and can't win a playoff series, that means you're failing somewhere along the lines in the front office, in my opinion. I wouldn't blame it all on Trae. I don't think that's fair to him. I do think he's a great player. I'm on record saying he's not a superstar. All-star caliber player, absolutely. But, Landry didn't do a good job surrounding Trae with good enough talent to win. So it's unfortunate to see for Hawks fans, for the city of Atlanta, honestly, that we deserve better. We really do. It's just been a disgrace, honestly. People come out and support the Hawks, and for us not to be able to field a competitive team with a guy like Trae, it's pretty disappointing. So I don't know. I'm hoping for better. I don't know who they're looking to hire. I saw someone say Elton Brand. I don't know about that. I assume they'll look elsewhere as well. But yeah, this is not surprising to me. You don't field a good enough team, you can't get a co-star for trade. This is what happens. So
Joey, any words for us Hawks fans out there before I go?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just comes down to just roster construction. I mean, like Ju said, you have a player that you guys believe is a superstar. You know how I feel about Trae Young personally, but I'm going to at least give him a little bit of credit here. He's not some, sorry player. He is an all-star caliber player, and I think, despite his, weaknesses, you have to be able to, build a team around that. And I think, Landry Fields did not do a very good job of that. I think, dealing away John Collins, who's been a negative asset for you at that point. It took him maybe he netted you back 2 second rounders and Rudy Gay at that point. At the time you traded him, if I'm not mistaken. And then just kind of just roster decisions, especially this past trade deadline. Of course, you're salary dumping DeAndre Hunter, who is now like a very key part of that Cavs team now. Trade Bogey over to the Clippers for whatever is left of Terrence Mann. It's I don't know. I understand you're trying to salary dump, but it's also like you're kind of playing. You don't really know what direction you're going in. And I think even drafting Risa Shea #1, albeit he has a lot left to show me. But as far as these play-in games, he's shooting 2 for 10 against the Magic, and then probably even worse on Friday against the Heat, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me, just pulling up the stats now, but 3 points, 1 for 11 shooting against Miami. You need someone who's going to take command. And I think it was a very missed opportunity, not just taking Alex Sarr, no matter how much he, didn't want to come to Atlanta, but, I think he probably would have been a lot better fit, especially because you guys are, drooling at the opportunity to trade away Clint Capella or for him to be off that basketball team. So just overall decision making and building around your star player has just not been good. So definitely justified.
I'm on a time schedule, so I'll try to do this as quick as possible. The United States does not negotiate with terrorists. I repeat, the United States does not negotiate with terrorists. Landry Fields. Let me look at you, actually. Let me look at you when I say that. This is long overdue. Okay, this is long overdue. We can talk about the history of the Hawks, but it all started. Well, I won't even go there because I read that he started being a general manager of the Hawks in 2020. Okay, so it's been a few years now. And Julian, as you mentioned, in those few years, it's been failure. You see what I'm saying? I'm not the type to sugarcoat or make excuses or whatever the case may be. And I think where it's so wrong at so many terms, but what we didn't mention was the DeJounte Murray pairing as well, right?
Can't believe I forgot about that. Wow.
Failure.
Yeah, failure. Excuse me, Julian. Let me hurry up. It just failed at every single turn, and I think the most striking thing about this Hawks during this time under this man is the fact that the inability to put defense on the roster. Okay, we finally put a Dyson Daniels in place. That's somebody on the perimeter that you can rely on the defensive end. We've done nothing with our bigs, and we continue to get pummeled year after year after year. And like we keep saying, in so many words, y'all are funny with the Trae Young takes. He's a Hall of Famer. All right. So if we're not going to put the necessary pieces around him in order to win, then this is a no-brainer type of move. And you just look at the guards, and I'll just look at the Eastern guards, in my opinion. They saw that had something in Tyrese Halliburton, right? They brought in guys. They brought in guys like Pascal, wing defenders, 3-and-D guys, Matthews they drafted. You see what I'm saying? To make that work, make them into a playoff team. Bring up Jalen Brunson. They saw they had something in him. All right, so we're going to put a Mikal Bridges on this team to help with the perimeter defense. We're going to put an OG Anunoby, right, to cover up some of those holes that we have. You see what I'm saying? We're going to give you another co-star in order to enable you to go to that next level. What have the Hawks done? Right? We're still looking around. Why am I asking Trey? Why has he never been paired with any type of all-star? Failure at every single turn. This is a young man, so he'll probably get a job somewhere else, right? But now he should be in a box. Anyway, I want to go to this this slide here. That's all I got for the Hawks for real. There's another general manager on the loose. He has a job though, surprisingly. Nico. All right, he finally had his first press conference, right? And among the nonsense spewed out of his mouth, he says that he's done a pretty good job with the Dallas Mavericks. All right. What do y'all think about just not only the press conference, but just this rollout of Nico trying to double down on his decision to trade away Luka Doncic? Like, just talk to me about that.
Go ahead, Joey. You go.
I'm gonna be honest. I hate having to talk anymore about this man and giving him as giving him more press. I do not like it. I think I've kind of said my grace in past podcasts, but it just kind of took me back to, that first press conference that they had when they first traded Luka. Jason Kidd's right next to him, and Nico's saying all this stuff like, yeah, we're perfectly aligned, all of this stuff. And it's just like nobody's seeing what you're seeing. I think the kind of like out of touch is there. You're like, I just like it's mind-boggling. Like there's truly no way to put this into words. How out of touch that Nico Harrison is, how out of touch this ownership is. Because Patrick Dumont isn't any better. It's just like
maybe
you didn't know how much of an effect that he had on your franchise, how much he meant to the city. Like that makes no sense to me whatsoever, and I hate that we have to keep giving him press attention. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, Nico, I mean, it really is a blessing that he still has a job. But let me be the first to say that whatever the Dallas Mavericks do next year with their fully healthy team at the second half of the season will determine where his job is going next. And I'll pass it off to somebody else to talk a little bit about Nico in this press conference. Joe, you got anything?
I mean, yeah, the press conference was ridiculous. That probably should have never happened, to be honest. Like, he could have just sat it out. Like, at this point, it's been, a month or so? Like, just sit it out. At this point, in terms of what he said though, like this quote, I think he has done a good job. Was the Luka trade controversial? Of course, but prior to that, he fielded a finals roster. He did put together a finals roster just last year. Like, I don't want to have a short enough memory to forget that. Yes, he did trade the franchise's golden boy, but I think he has done a pretty good job in his role as general manager for the Mavs. And I don't know how this Luka trade will work out. If the Lakers win, it'll be seen as obviously utter failure. We can use that word again, failure. But if the Lakers don't win, I don't mean just this year, soon. If the Lakers don't win soon, then, I don't know. I feel like he should have got more back for the trade. Then it would have been a little bit more justifiable. But I don't know. It's hard for him to recover from something like this, but I do think he has done a good job prior to the Luka trade. So I don't know. I can see how he could say that.
Real quick before I get you in breaking news: Peyton Pritchard, 6th man of the year. All right.
You know what? That's tough.
Respect.
Nah, respect. I mean,
Deserved.
he's one of those players that really has year by year improvement. Like,
He's nice. He's
yeah,
nice.
I could give that to Payton. And anything on Nico Harrison? We already talked about the Hawks firing Landry Fields here, but we on to a different GM that actually has a job. So
No, I mean to say that he did a good job is crazy. Like, I think he set back the Mavericks like he set them back by like 5 years, bro.
They had the best deadline last year though, and that catapulted them to the championship.
Yeah, but they literally did that to for Luka. Like those players that he got were like really like they helped Luka. Like they were.
No, that's part of his job though. That's him doing a good job though.
Yeah, but he gave away Luka then. So like
now he did. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Those players are they're not as good as they were with Luka. Like that's just reality. That's true.
Who's not as good? The dunkers, the people playing the dunker spot. Yeah, I agree, but they don't have a guard now. So like it's right now. I feel like my only thing on Nico, yes, trading Luka was obviously super controversial and questionable to say the least. But we didn't ever get to see his finished product, and I think that like we can hate on him for that, but we can't say that he's doing a bad job of acquiring talent or building teams. I don't think that's true. I think that had Kyrie been healthy, they would have been contenders this playoffs.
Yeah, but he's banking on old players, like people who are like on the back ends of their career. Wow, like it doesn't make sense. Like like you said, if they're going to trade Luka, at least get something like astronomical, like something that like is actually worth.
Anthony Davis is astronomical, but they should have.
No, it's not, bro.
It is. They should have got something else,
bro.
What you do is you get Anthony. Well, I think Windhorst said it. I mean, you get Anthony Davis and you get Austin Reeves as well.
Yeah, probably should have got Reeves
and Reeves.
I agree.
So if they did that, then not only would we more be able to justify it, I guess, but I think they'd still be at least in the playoffs. I mean, you put Reeves out there. I mean, he could at least be a guard for you to get you in, right? Yeah. Keep you afloat, steady the ship. But didn't do that though.
I don't know. My only point is we didn't get to see the finished product, and I do think I feel like we all can recognize had Kyrie been healthy, the team looks way different, way different.
At the same time, Julian, we may never see the finished product. We have to be able to acknowledge that as well. Kyrie Irving doesn't come back until January.
For sure, yeah.
He's going to say it's April right now. So he's not going to come back until the second half of the season. Fingers crossed he comes back to the Kyrie Irving that we know and love because he was on the tear. Like he was in a very, very nice groove, right? So fingers crossed he comes back. And then, Julian, you know better than anyone, relying on Anthony Davis for 82 games.
That's not a good bet. I agree.
It's very tough to do, especially when you say now you're really the guy, not LeBron, and sometimes the guy here that you're really the guy. So it's just like, let's acknowledge that as well.
Nah, like I said, this was a questionable move to say the least, but I don't think he's done a bad job as a GM. He's the most hated GM in the league right now, and he just fielded a finals roster last year. That makes no sense. And I don't think that he was the one to make the trade. The reports have been coming out since this has happened, clarifying what's really happened. This is ownership. This is coming from the owners.
Nah, as far as I've seen, and Joey, I don't know what you heard, but as far as I've seen, Nico, he had the knife in hand at the end of the day.
That is not what I heard.
At the end of the day, he does.
Yeah, he had a knife in hand.
He doesn't. The owners are the ones running teams. Owners run teams. We know this.
Julian, what do you mean?
Well, owners are running teams. You cannot do this without the owners.
Yeah, obviously, but you don't.
This is what happened, though. This is what, at least I've seen, that's what they reported. Nico didn't emphasize the fact that Luka Doncic has, murals at the local elementary school a block away from the stadium. Like, he didn't emphasize how much that.
To what it means beyond that. What Luka means beyond basketball to Dallas, yes, I agree. I'm talking about just basketball right now, that's not looking at it in its full scope. True. But I'm just talking about on the court. I don't know if they were going to win, and obviously he didn't think so. So
It's crazy.
I don't think they were going to win. Not even I don't know. That's just my take. I don't think that they were ever going to win. They weren't competitive in the finals. They got there. They
Oh,
weren't
to the
competitive.
finals. You heard what you said, right? They got
They weren't competitive. They
got
weren't competitive.
in the West, bro. They beat the number 1 seed. They were
Sure,
pretty
teams
good.
get
They had-
better though, and the
Huh?
West is better now. The West is better this year than it was last year, and players get better and more experience. Shea's
So
getting a year older, more experience. The Thunder are. Anthony Edwards is not going to gas out again in the playoffs. I don't think he will, like he did last year in that series. That's why they lost. He had no legs.
I mean, the Mavs core,
happen again.
Mavs core last year in the finals, like the players who really got them there, they're not that old. Like they could have. What do you mean? Like Gafford,
Kyrie and him,
Kyrie.
Kyrie and Luka.
No, but I mean, you can add in PJ Washington, the
They're
centers.
still there
This is
though.
crazy. This is crazy, Julian. I mean, those were
Those
just
guys are
guys
still-
way back when.
No,
You
those
remember
guys
that?
are still there. I'm saying.
Hey, Jude. Now you remember
Mhm.
when he was talking about how that trade didn't move the needle? Like,
Yes.
PJ was just guys. Now
Yes.
it's that core. Like,
I'm saying now that's the championship
That's
core.
crazy to me.
Literally, your quote is
Got
they
him
don't
there.
move the needle at the
Bro,
deadline.
Luka
That's
got
your
him there,
quote.
bro. Luka got him there. Nico didn't do anything. No one else did anything. It was Luka.
Nico didn't do anything to acquire those players that catapulted them to the best team in the second half of the year. He didn't do anything.
And then he erased all that by giving away Luka. Like those players, they're not as good as they are. Or as they were.
There's no way for them to be that good without having the point guard on the court.
It's
Okay.
all hard to play. This is true.
Yeah.
So we'll see what it looks like. But has Nico done a really good job? I'll let y'all decide. Whoever's watching this, like I will let y'all decide because there's good points on both ends. I mean, you did build a championship team. That was one of the better mid-season trades that you made last year to acquire those guys like Gafford and PJ. But at the same time, you turn around and blow that up off of almost it seemed like impulse, but is what it is. Is what it is.
I think
I gotta keep moving. I got to. You can get a little bit of it into this discussion, Ian, but I want to talk losers as well. We already talked about my Hawks, but let's talk losers. We can start with Dallas again, just in the fact of where do we go from here? So are we just gonna re-up with the same roster? We believe that Kyrie, Clay, whoever they slide in at that 3 spot, Anthony Davis and Gafford, are they going to be able to get it done with what they have?
I mean, if they get a little better, yeah, they're going to contend. I don't understand. I'm saying if Kyrie's healthy. If Kyrie's healthy, they're going to contend.
A 34-year-old Kyrie off a major knee injury.
Dude, I said if he's healthy. I don't know. I don't know if he will be. That's complete speculation. Well, you're saying he won't be. A lot of players have come back and played just as well.
He's not going to come back and play just as well. Like that never really happens.
Well, yeah, but I think we need to backtrack though, because again, what we talk about as Nico done a good job. Julian's take is based on if-then statements. If Anthony Davis makes it to the end of the year, if Kyrie Irving comes back like he was, if Klay Thompson learns how to shoot a basketball. Joe, you see what I'm saying? Like it's so much in the air just within house, right? We haven't mentioned the other guys like Julian has said that are growing up as we speak.
It's also if Kyrie doesn't come back healthy. I don't know.
That's the deal. Like Ian, you're gonna love what I'm about to say. Like this is exactly how how Philly's situation is. You sign Paul George if he's healthy, if Joel's healthy, like if everything goes well, yeah, they'll look good. The Mavs are the same way right now. Like Kyrie, who's 34, coming off of a major knee, like is ACL, if I'm not mistaken, not gonna come back until the middle of the season, if even at all next season. Anthony Davis, who's as injury prone as is, like, yeah, like that'd be all cool. You could go after Kevin Durant in the summer if you want. Like, okay, cool. But, you're still mortgaged your team. You still kind of mortgage the team that you built around Luka, which goes back to a little bit what I was going to say to Ju after he was like, yeah, Nico did a good job building a team around Luka, but all that was negated once you traded Luka. So now it's like, okay, you gotta turn a team that was built around Luka into a team that's now okay, needs to give you more quality minutes around, Kyrie and AD, who may not be available as much. So it's just, it's a matter of hypotheticals at the end of the day. But it's like you mortgage a 10-year championship window for now, like maybe 3 if you get lucky, if they're healthy enough to survive.
I feel like the whole point of them making the trade is they don't think that they had a 10-year championship window. I feel like that was the whole point of it. If they did, I don't see why they would have traded it. That's literally what he said. He said we can't win with this. That's been pretty standard. A lot of players have said that. They say Luka's style of play can't win. Luka's defense can't win. That's what Nico said. He doesn't defend. They can't win. Multiple NBA legends, basketball analysts have said this style of play can't win offensively and defensively. That's what I've been hearing. Like I don't know. We'll see if he can win. We'll see. I said in the past, I think Luka's a bit overrated. Y'all were saying Luka was better than this is like in 2020. This is in the past.
Years ago,
yeah, this is 2021, I think, when I'm saying this. But y'all were saying he's better than Kawhi. I remember having this exact conversation. Luka's over Kawhi when they were facing off, and I was like, you have lost your mind because Luka, yes, does he put up better stats for sure, but he has the ball and dribbles the air out of it every single possession of the game. Like,
and Kawhi's gotten to a point
better stats. Like,
and Kawhi's at a point where he's not even available as much.
It's 2021. Kawhi defeated Luka in this series. This actually happened. This is historical.
But I'm just saying as like a general perspective, he's not always available.
No, facts. I'm talking about then though. Kawhi didn't miss a shot for 4 straight games in that series. That actually happened.
Yeah, we don't need to go there.
In the fourth quarter, I mean.
I was reminiscing right now. Like,
but Julie, you do have a point though. Somewhere in that glaze, like you sift through it for real. Like
there's nothing to sift through.
Yeah, you sift through it for real. You have your points, but I think a lot of that became negated once you see the guy captain a team that goes to a finals. Right. Now it's like, we used to call him like a James Harden, MVP type of James Harden type character, right? We saw him go to the conference finals, but still couldn't get it done. Of course, CP3, whatever you want to call it, still wasn't able to get it done. But
he's no better than a prime James Harden.
I mean,
he's
what?
He's no better than prime James Harden. The cookie crumbled a different way for him. He's not better. It's just honest. It is.
Prime James Harden was very, very elite, but again, you bring up the question: can you win that way? Can you win with that style of play? All I'm saying is you're one series away from doing so, right? So it's hard, it really is, but we can't keep talking about Dallas. They've got a lot to do this summer.
A quick point though: if the Lakers go out bad to the Timberwolves, we have to have conversations.
I can agree with that.
We have to have conversations.
Don't. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
No, that's unacceptable.
Because
in my opinion, that's an unacceptable loss. That's unacceptable. If we lose to the Timberwolves, that would be unacceptable.
What else is Luka supposed to do? I'm confused.
Yeah, like
he didn't. I'm talking. He scored the ball well last game. Did y'all watch the game?
Yes.
Do you see how bad our defense is? Do you know that they hit a record of 3-pointers? They hit an NBA record of 3-pointers.
Okay,
because we can't stop a dribble drive. They're blowing by him and kicking out 2 open 3-point shooters.
That's fine, bro.
That's fine. They had an NBA record. That's not fine. We would have got 40 balled in the Crypto Center if Anthony Edwards didn't get hurt. If Anthony Edwards did not go down and they went on a random run, we would have got 40 balled at home in game 1 of the playoffs. You're telling me that's acceptable? It's unacceptable.
There are a lot of superstars that are one-sided and that can't.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. There's only a few who are that bad. Who's that bad?
Nah, there are some guys that are that bad. Jokic,
Brunson, that bad.
Brunson bad. Ali Burton is bad.
Not
Trey
that
is bad. Like,
Not
there are a lot of
bad.
guys that are bad. I mean,
Jokic was getting scored on every possession.
What?
He was getting put in the pick and roll every possession, and they
No,
were
Joker is bad on defense, but he's not that bad.
This he
there
is
are a lot of
that
guys that are bad. Is all he's trying to say.
He's not.
But however, though, right?
He's not.
Jude, we need to watch tonight. It's one game one at that. We do need to watch tonight because Minnesota's not going to shoot like that out of 90.
I'm not even blaming him either. Like, he played well. We have other guys who need to play better. LeBron needs to play better.
LeBron is one of them. But
Yeah, he needs to be better. Reeves needed to be better when it was close. Like the BS points they got then don't matter. Rui Hachimura needs to be better.
Yeah, I was gonna say to Juice's point about Hachimura, like you don't want to put Jackson Hayes on the floor, right? You know, he's that bad for you, right? Like, you're leaning on lineups where you have Hachimura at center guarding a big guy. Those lineups need to be productive for that to warrant, you know, hey, we're gonna keep running this lineup. I don't care if you have Rudy Gobert on the floor. Like, we've seen him get exploited so many times in the playoffs.
JJ Redick needs to be better, to your point.
Right, dog. Yeah, JJ definitely needs to be better. You know, I'm waiting for that.
That's not me blaming Luka. I'm just saying you're talking about him as if he's if he's Jesus, you know, like he has his own deficiencies as well.
He was the best player on the court. Like,
I don't agree.
Best player on the Lakers. I'll say that.
He did. He was the best player on the Lakers. He
Yeah.
was.
But hey,
He was not better than Anthony Edwards.
gentlemen, I got to keep us moving, though. I got to keep us moving because I got to talk about Joey's Bulls. All right, I got to talk about Joey's Bulls here, Joey. Yeah, well, no, I won't talk about it. I'll let you talk about it, Joey. What's going on? What happened?
Look, man, I was trying to be positive about this team, and in this group chat, I know I've been talking hate. Like, you know what? Like, is it the worst thing in the world that we go to the playoffs? Yes, probably yes. What are you doing? Can we? Are we on a time schedule? I can't spend this whole time just laughing at your dance moves, man.
I'm letting you go. Like, just talk to me. Like,
No, but I mean, like, look, I'm trying to be positive about this. We were more competitive after we traded Zach LaVine. You know what? Hey, maybe if we made the playoffs by some miracle, Modest Mazelis or someone will have a coming out party and we take this Cavs team to 6. Maybe. Just maybe. Is there much of a chance of that happening? No. But would it be cool if we did? Yes. But I'm still in the boat that if we, you know, secured a lottery pick that would be the best, especially in a stacked draft like this one. But honestly, like at this point, like I'm just happy because I feel like the guys that I think need to be traded, like a Nikola Vucevic, like we can trade that. You know, like we keep Lonzo around, you know, we restructured his contract, like he's getting paid like maybe like 10 mil over the next like 2 or 3 years after this. Like, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Like, that's not insane. That's not an insane amount of money. If he continues to perform, that'll be a nice trade asset down the road. Kobe White, though, you're definitely going to have to look to extend him after this season. He's on an expiring deal. Unless if you really feel like you could get a good amount of value in this, sure, by all means, trade him. But we can't just be like, okay, we're just going to trade him. We're trying to get players in return to help us compete. No, like that's not how it works. So we need to figure out a direction. I think that the future is looking definitely a lot brighter and a lot less murky than it was in years past. I just wish we would have traded Zach. Wish we would have traded DeMar a lot earlier.
Yeah, we said that on multiple pod occasions. Definitely said that. I like Matas though. I definitely like what I've seen from Matas. He's definitely raw.
Hinsdale represent. Little boozy vert.
I don't know about any of that. But however, Matas, you know, I think he was a bright spot. He showed he's not scared. I think he'll develop into a pretty nice player. Kobe, you know, he's been doing this for some time now. You'll have to make a decision about Josh Giddey and what he or how much value you'd like to place towards his direction. He did turn up in the second half of the season, but of course in the playoff, you know, I mean,
that's not going to cut it, bro. Ever. That will never cut it. Ever, ever, ever. In our lives, that will never cut it. I'm
He
sorry.
shows signs, but it's just like, are you willing to push the chips
Signs of what?
towards
I'm
that?
saying,
You see
what
what I'm
you
saying?
feel? Where, in my opinion, I don't see like where. What's the Bulls' direction here? Like, who's their guy?
Gotta be Kobe.
Is he though? Is Kobe White ever gonna be a guy who's gonna take you anywhere? Anywhere promising?
As a second option, maybe like they might just need another star.
Yeah. So you need to get a guy.
I mean, you're not just going to get a guy off of out of thin air, though. Is my thing. I mean,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. That's why I'm asking. What's their direction?
especially because this ownership does not like to spend money. The Reinsdorfs love their money. They're not going to pay for a star. That's why I feel like you need to make a decision. Sell Kobe while his value is at an all-time high, while his contract is still good. Like that to a team that wants to extend him past this next season, like that. I wouldn't say no to that. Like if
a rebuild.
some team, yeah, like if Orlando said, hey, like we'll give you like, I don't know, like Anthony Black, someone else, few picks, sure, yeah, I'm taking that.
And I think what I'm thinking, it doesn't make much sense. But there are teams out there that don't have a guy, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? You could make it with a full roster, is what I'm trying to say. We have bright spots at each position there that play good team basketball. You can do some things as long as you play defense.
Who's the worst guy who's on a playoff team?
I mean, Tyler Hero's on the playoff team.
But like,
this is just off top. I mean,
my hero and Halliburton.
Yeah,
Halliburton is not a slouch.
I guess y'all know how I feel about Hallie. So
Halliburton is an Olympic gold or champion.
He shouldn't be. I mean, y'all saw the player list, so it's just like he's on a team. I mean, but what I'm trying to say is that Kobe, he's a good player. I mean, he's a good player. I just think you get pieces around him if they are scrappy, buy into a system, you could get something. But no, I mean, you're back to grassroots. It's going to take years to really get back to any type of, contention or whatever the case may be. This is just the beginning, though, right? So I think they do need to be very careful with their dollars and cents and who they place it towards, because I think the last thing you want to do is not be sure about a guy like a Giddey, right? Give him a contract and then it blows up in your face. So they'll have a lot of decisions to make, but to Joey's point, though, I do believe the future is brighter than it once was, because that DeMar thing, we get ready to talk about those two now, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna say one more thing about the contract about the Giddey situation, and then we can move on. Yeah, I'm kind of in favor of them re-signing Giddey. I think he's been a nice piece for us as far as this season goes. We're not really competing for anything anytime soon, but you also run the risk of, running into a similar situation like you did with Patrick Williams this past offseason. Like that's the thing that doesn't make sense to me. Like you give him $18 million a year. You gave Kobe, like, what was it? Like 3 years, $36 million the year before. Like Patrick Williams has not shown me anything as that season. Like, that make me like, okay, like let's pay this guy $18 million a year. So I'm just saying you need to be smart about the contracts you give out. But that's all I gotta say.
Not bad.
Definitely a rebuild.
Now, the Sacramento Kings, just a few things, because it's really sad what we saw from them. It's incredibly sad the way that this franchise has just completely imploded from within due to hasty moves, impulse decisions. And it started with Mike Brown, the head coach, right? They got rid of their voice of the locker room. I mean, you could tell that this guy who's passionate, really cared about his players. So the players cared about him as well. I mean, you could say that also. We talk about De'Aaron Fox. Got rid of him, let him go to the Spurs. He's going to be terrorizing the league with Wemby and Cooper Flag next year. And, you replaced them with two guys who proved, Joey.
I tried to tell them. I tried so hard to tell them. I've seen this before. It doesn't work. I promise you.
They proved that though. While they were 3 years younger, they proved that they are not enough to get it done. It does not work. Zach LaVine is a great scorer. He's a good. I was saying something about his sister. He's a great scorer. You see what I'm saying? DeMar DeRozan is an all-time scorer. He is a Hall of Famer. You see what I'm saying? They can't guard anybody. They're mid-range mafia. It's 2025 in the NBA. These two will not get it done. They will never get it done. Okay? That's it. So I don't know why they made such a hasty decision like that. They blew up their team, and of course it blew up right in front of their face. Like now they're not even in any type of contention. The future is as bleak as the Bulls once was. Right?
Monty McNair deserved to be fired. Monty McNair deserved to be fired. Like, I've seen this before. Like, you put Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan together. Okay, yes, Sabonis is substantially better than Vooch was at that point, but you also have a point guard in Malik Monk who doesn't pass the ball. Like, he is a score-first player. So it's like...
It's terrible.
Yeah, he's a two guard. I don't understand that.
Yeah, he is a two guard. He's a 6-man, is what he is. Like it's just terrible decisions at every turn. And then you think about guys that they had like Davion Mitchell, and then this is the last point I'll cry about before I talk about the future. But I watched Davion Mitchell in summer league. You know that this guy could be an impact player. Like you know what he can do out there. I know that he had a rough spat with them. But then you see him on a Miami Heat team, living it up. 3-and-D, commanding an offense. And it's like, whoa, y'all just gave up on that guy too? What? I don't understand what goes into the minds of these people. I really don't. And I'm not trying to pretend like I'm smarter than them, but by golly, I'm not dumb. All right, so I just want to, again, where does Sacramento go from there? Well, what do we do this summer?
Nobody knows, bro. That's a dumpster fire. They should be sad. They should trade everyone they can at this point, except for maybe Sabonis. I'll get rid of everyone.
Not except Sabonis. I think you have to wipe that plate.
Yeah, I think you got to shop Sabonis. I'm not gonna lie.
You got to wipe that plate clean, to be honest.
Trade everyone.
Yeah, trade up.
Just go ahead and try to go ahead and do a Thunder. Just get a Thunder haul. Get a nice young piece from somebody for Sabonis. No one's giving you anything for DeMar DeRozan. No one's giving you anything for Zach LaVine. So I don't even know. They're cool. They're cool. Beam will not be lit for a while. Being real.
Yeah, it's a great spot. I think, yeah, you got to be sellers at this point. And to your point, I don't know who picks up DeMar. I don't know who picks up Zach. I think you got to wipe that plate clean and just apologize to your fan base that you're going through another 10-year rebuild, and that's it. And you got anything on the Sacramento before we talk about these series?
You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
I mean, that's so sad to me. That is really so sad, because I was listening to some podcasters from The Athletic, and that Light the Beam season, that was fun basketball. Y'all remember how that Sacramento stadium was rocking? They had E40 in there acting a fool. Like that was good basketball. 7 games with Golden State. That's great basketball. Like they had a character. I mean, they had a star of Fox. Sabonis was playing good ball. It's sad. It really is sad to see. But hey, what can you do? Honestly, what can you do? But gentlemen, the playoffs are set. We've gotten a taste, about 1 to 2 games, depending on the series, depending on the matchup here, right? So I just want to ask for y'all to point out one, and I'll start with Ian since we haven't heard much from you today, sir. So what's been your favorite series, or what's your favorite matchup through these early stages?
I'll probably say the easy one, the Clippers, Nuggets. Like both games have been close. Stars have been playing pretty well. I thought Jokic has been dominant both games. He definitely had a lot of help from the role players in the end there. But shout out Jokic. He had a really good game. Second game, but Kawhi, best player in the series, had the best game of the series yet. Probably the best game of the playoffs yet. Um,
Easily. What?
yeah,
Best
definitely.
player. He's the best player.
He is. Like he gives you both.
Look,
He gives you defense.
crazy.
What do you mean?
So Kawhi is now the best player in the series.
Kawhi he does the most. He affects the game the most on offense and on defense. Even like he doesn't do as much playmaking because that's James' job, but he can size up his player. He can dive a little if he wants to.
So
Really easy, bro. Easy.
So y'all switch up crazy. Y'all switch up crazy. I say Kawhi is great. I say Kawhi is top this, top that, top this ever, top that ever. Uproar in the chat. Everybody who don't watch ball, your meat writing, all that. Now Kawhi's better than Joker in this point. This is when now
I said as an all-around player, bro.
Bro. Like you gotta call it.
Crazy.
Yeah, but anyways, shout out Kawhi. Even James Harden, I thought he's been playing pretty well. But yeah, I think I got the Clippers in this one. I think it'll go 7 probably.
Bucks and Pacers scrapping. You know how that go. But anywho, Julian, since you had to interject there, would you pick a different series than the Nuggets Clippers, or is that still your favorite?
I mean, of course, that's my favorite. I'm getting to watch Kawhi Leonard play at his highest level. That's a blessing. We're all blessed to be able to watch this. We are. Let's be real. This is a player who's been hated. He's been disrespected. They said retire. They said a lot of things about this man. He's came back from 3-4 surgeries.
Yeah, 2 world wars.
Could have given it up. He doesn't need money. He doesn't need any of it. He came back to hoop because he wants to win. And he's that boy has put it on special performances. And I am so happy to see this. Like, this is, y'all know this. This is like he is neck and neck for my favorite player in the league. Him and D'Lo. Those are my guys. So to see this performance is just like, I'm just very happy, man. I'm happy for him, honestly. But other series that are exciting, since Ian already said that one, Rockets and Warriors is smoked out. I was able to watch that game the other night. I think that was Easter Sunday. But yeah, Steph Curry, Jimmy, it's going to be a tough out for those young guys. I think Thompson is really going to be a great player. But yeah. Oh yeah. Shout out to you, Mo. Shout out to Jimmy. You see it. Shout out to Jimmy. Hey, this is lit because it's a full circle moment, because we always talk about this. We always talk about the playoffs, right? We talk about who's going to come to perform in the playoffs. And Mo always tells me, he's been telling me for years, regular season this, regular season that. We get to the playoffs. My guys are hooping. My guys are hooping, Mo. My guys are hooping, and your guys aren't. Your guy went out in the play-in. He's at home.
Donovan Mitchell is also my guy.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell is hooping so far, but like, we need to see more. We need to see more. We need to see team success from Donovan Mitchell. We've seen that from my guys.
If I may.
Jordan, go ahead, Twain. Go ahead. Hey, go ahead.
But before you get in here.
Go ahead.
What we're seeing from Kawhi Leonard is absolutely special. Now, we do have to acknowledge, to Julian's point, the amount of work that it does take, you see what I'm saying, to overcome his injury history throughout the years, multiple surgeries that we're talking about. For him to come out and be able to contribute in this way on the biggest stage is something that should be applauded. To Julian's point, we should be happy. We should be grateful that we're even able to see this guy continue to play basketball at this point, because the truth is he should be retired. right? We talk about everything that Kawhi Leonard has been through. Grady, Emory, Johns Hopkins. You see what I'm saying? He should be retired at this very moment. Now, why you see Julian address me in such a fashion, and we'll try and keep this as quick as possible, it's almost the first quarter over, is the fact that I can't respect people that do not play 82 and then another 15. You see what I'm saying? Now, the thing about Kawhi Leonard and why I do believe he should retire is the fact that he will never be eligible for an All-NBA award again.
We don't care.
No, I know you don't. No, I know you don't. You have no shame. You have absolutely no shame. You proved that on this podcast.
We are not playing for All NBA. We don't give a damn. I'll be honest. We don't give a damn about All NBA.
Okay, you don't give a damn. But what does that mean? Okay, that means that we don't care how much of the season you play, as long as you can play 15 games. Okay, that's what we're saying, right? As long as you can play the end of the 15 games, right? Okay.
If he can get 16 wins, that's what matters.
Now, why I can respect Kawhi, not only because he is an NBA champion, he plays both ways, and we know how talented he is offensively, is because he physically cannot play those games. He can't do it, right? He cannot play those games. So when we get to the end of the year and he's been resting for God knows when, and he finally has his knees ready to be under him, right? This is what we're going to see. Great. Now, Jimmy Butler, on the other hand, I will never respect. No, I can't do that. No. And let me take that back. I'll never respect him in the way y'all do. He's a great athlete, great player. You see what I'm saying? He's good. But this Super Saiyan notion of, I asked my coworker today. His name's JJ. He's an Orlando Magic fan, actually. So he was letting me have it about the Hawks, right? But we started to talk about the Miami Heat. I asked him to raise his hand. So, Julian, you want to raise your hand? Yeah, I appreciate it. Julian, raise your hand as high as you can. Now raise it higher. How is he able to do that? And I asked him to raise his hand as high as he can, but yet he was able to do more. Right? How can I respect someone who willingly, consciously makes the decision not to give his team his all throughout the course of 82 games? Now we're in a play-in situation, playing extra games, and then I'm supposed to have the excuse of, oh, he had one leg in the finals, he couldn't do. Oh, he was gassed from carrying his team, he couldn't do. Huh? What are we talking about? He could have been Super Saiyan through 82 games, could he not? Is he unable to do it? Does he not have kneecaps like Kawhi Leonard?
Bro, Morgan.
How can I respect that?
Bro, Morgan, a lot of superstars do that. Or not superstars. Excuse me. A lot of great playoff performers are in that category. That's true. Jamal Murray.
18 points. He's never been an all-star. Who goes from 18 points a game? Listen to me. Who goes from 18 points a game to 30?
Jamal Murray literally has the highest difference between regular season and playoff points. Like that's
an all-star, an all-NBA player. I could really care less about Jamal Murray. You're naming
he's a champion
right now.
It's him, Jimmy, and Kawhi.
Kawhi doesn't do that either. He doesn't do that.
He doesn't do what?
He doesn't make the conscious decision not to give his team his all while he's on the floor.
But he gets a lot better, though. That's the point.
He has no choice. He doesn't have kneecaps.
Hey, that's Jimmy's point. Like he has.
Hey, Joey. Who's your favorite series, bro? Who's your favorite series? I'm getting too riled. Favorite series that you got going, right?
I like this Knicks Pistons series. I think that's going to get really interesting. I think, we had such high expectations about the Knicks, and now, this upcoming Pistons team has been very exciting to watch. But I think this game, too, that happened last night, kind of discouraged me a little bit. If I'm Karl Anthony Towns, I need to be better. You can't just be showing up playing like 10, putting up 10-6. You just can't. Like, especially like if you're playing primarily on Jalen Duren, like you're trying to space him out and get as many open looks as you can at that rim. Like that's it. Like, but If I'm Karl Anthony Towns, you got to be better. Like, we can't just have Jalen Brunson just putting up 37, all by himself and having nobody else contribute. Like,
well, can I gotta say something because I see something interesting on the internet though. Like, I don't know if y'all been on NBA Twitter lately, but there's this notion that we're tired of Jalen Brunson's style of play now. Like, we're tired of the herky jerky, the foul baiting and this,
the head snaps.
Yeah, all of that basically. It'd be so funny how you get turned on once you lose a game or two. Right now, all of a sudden, Jalen Brunson it's not aesthetically pleasing what he's doing out there. It's hilarious. But I mentioned that because I was looking at the stats, though, Joey. How is it that Jalen Brunson is getting 27 shots last game and Karl Anthony Towns shooting it 11 times? That boy got to pass the rock. He got to pass the ball. Like, I don't know. Like, I know Karl got to be aggressive, but god dang, like, you got to pass the rock.
I don't know. You also have to demand the ball, Like,
You
the playoffs.
do.
The playoffs is a time for people who want to rise to the occasion. This is why I'll never agree with you on the whole the whole regular season importance thing. I don't agree because in the playoffs, the guys who really want it, they go and get it. Right? We see this consistently. The killers kill in the playoffs, and the guys who are playoff droppers drop in the playoffs. That's pretty consistent. We see this, and we've seen this for a long time. So, for example, with Karl Anthony Towns, if you don't shoot the ball in the last 20 minutes of a basketball game, that's your fault, not anyone else's. 20 minutes. 20. Come on now.
I agree. 90.
You're afraid. You're afraid. No, it's okay. It's okay. We don't have to sugarcoat it.
No,
It's okay if he's afraid.
You got a point guard setting your table.
Bro, it's okay if he's afraid. We've seen this with many guys. They get afraid in the big moments. We've seen this.
He's a big, though, Drew. You need a point guard to set the table at some
Did he get a rebound in the last 20 minutes? I would have rather seen
picking pops.
instead of what the quarters are they're 12 minutes, excuse me, not the last 20, the last 17. Instead of Karl Anthony Towns getting no field goal attempts in the last 17 minutes, I would have rather seen him grab the ball off the rim on defense and go coast to coast and jack up whatever shot. 17 minutes with no shots is unacceptable.
It's unacceptable. I agree with you. But I'm still saying, when you have a point guard that's giving you 7 assists and 6 turnovers along with that, and then he's shooting the ball 27 times, like, what are we doing?
He deserves some blame, but he also wanted it, and you could tell that. He wasn't afraid to have the ball in his hands, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, that boy wanted that tour date. In the,
I'm just saying, Karl Anthony Towns, you can't be afraid, bro. If you're afraid, I don't know. You can't win with you, in my opinion.
can't call a grown man afraid. Like, what's wrong with you?
I'm wondering if was he afraid? Well, what is his excuse? What's his explanation?
You call it a grown man afraid. All right, let me bring us home. This is my last slide of the night. Tell you why I'm quiet. About to hit this turkey burger. We got a little fried egg on the slide. I'm gonna do a little turkey bacon, saute that up. Some onions going, a little lettuce. I'm not really a tomato type person, but it's gonna be gas. You see what I'm saying? But the key is you gotta definitely toast your buns. You gotta toast your buns.
You gotta toast the buns. I agree.
Absolutely.
You do have to toast.
We don't cut corners around here, right? So I'm really about to throw down before this 7:30 out of here. There are a lot of good matchups. There really are a lot of good matchups. And again, I'm pondering while I'm talking, but shout out to OKC in that demolition that we viewed. We talk about 50 balling a team in the playoffs. Just real quick, even high school teams don't get 50 ball, right?
Bro, I took a 30-point spread and lost.
You see what I'm saying? Like even high. This doesn't happen in a high school level. God knows not the collegiate level. Like that's really really bad. That's really bad. So I'm glad they got out like that, right? Because they shut up a lot of the naysayers like myself, right? If they're ready, if they're capable, this, that, and the other, like they're gonna do their thing at least for this first round, right? So we'll see what it's like going forward. Love the Denver and Clippers I do love that Pistons, Knicks. What we didn't mention is the fact your boy Cade Cunningham, he came to play that second game.
I was gonna say another one of my boys is hooping in the playoffs too.
I told you he had to get 30 in order to get it done, and that young man got 30. Like he got it.
The Knicks are going to lose this series if they don't stop Cade from penetrating. I mean, somebody has to. I'm saying just stop the penetration. Like that's why they lost last night, in my opinion. If they let him get to the cup willingly, just at will, every single time he tried, he got there. Make or miss, he was getting to the cup. Like I just don't see them winning the series. I'll be shocked. So they need to do better at cutting that off. Cut the head of the snake off.
It's the truth. I mean, in all honesty, you do have one job. And I know we're running out of time, gentlemen, but let me also say that this is Tom Thibodeau's last series.
If they lose,
this is his last series. All right. So I want to put that out there as well, just so we're all on the same page. I'm gonna talk about my Lakers here. Now, if y'all recall in a previous pod that we had, I told y'all that the Minnesota Timberwolves would be a sleeper team. Anthony Edwards is not somebody that you just simply count out. We know his pedigree. We know his ability on the basketball court, and he's continued to grow and blossom throughout the years. Julius Randle is not a name that y'all would like to bring up, but he was an incredibly positive player in that playoff matchup that we saw there. He was giving us the business in more ways than one. Pause. Okay. You couple in all of these 3-and-D guys coming out there making big shots. DiVincenzo, Jaden McDaniels out there wreaking havoc on both ends of the floor. This is a team that can be dangerous if given hope, right? Which we did, unfortunately, dropping a game at home, right? But what we're going to see is, I think Joey mentioned a little bit, two teams, but two very different styles of play. Okay. Now, the Minnesota Timberwolves, they're a team, they want to turn defense into offense, right? They're going to run up and down, but they are going to play that type of bully ball with Julius Randle. Rudy Gobert is going to be down there as a lob threat, and Anthony Edwards like to slash to the cup. So they're going to be playing that type of style. Lakers, we play slow, we play methodical. And that was before we added Luka Doncic. So now it's tortoise. All right, you see what I'm saying? Luka, he's going to get his. We saw him cross-matched on Rudy Gobert. He starts licking his chops, barbecue chicken. We're going to see a lot of that, right? But I do really want to see where Austin Reeves is going to fit on both ends of the floor. He's overmatched in more ways than one when it comes down to it. And then he's going to have to come back and get buckets on his own for this team to be elevated to that next level. We don't want to worry about LeBron, but LeBron looked old in that first game. He looked old. He didn't seem like he was ready for the challenge. And then I opened up Twitter, and he's going back and forth with Kevin Gates. Hey, Joey, name a Kevin Gates song.
Really?
2 phones.
Really? That's a detail.
Nice little throwback. Nice little oldie but goodie.
On spot, that's pretty good. You know, 2 phones. That's the other thing that we'll reference there. Appreciate y'all, man. 2 phones came out in 2015. I need LeBron James to be who we know he is. All right. So let's turn on the 0 Dark 30 mode.
Can he be the
pride? Let's actually have some pride calling yourself the king and then going out bad to peasants.
Can he be? My question is, can he be who he's capable of being? We know he's capable. Can he be LeBron with Luke on the team?
He just has to be aggressive, like in the first quarter. Like I think I think they need to like alternate like who runs the offense. Like I feel like LeBron needs to do that a lot more.
Can't do that with Luke on the court. That's a negative.
Yeah,
he's a negative.
You
He's
can
a
put
net
Luka in
negative.
the
He's not
corner.
going to ever cut. He will not.
Bro.
If you watch him off the ball, he's going to cut.
He doesn't have to. LeBron can make He can make the person in the corner wide open every play if he wants to. Like,
Now, if,
Luka's not the stand in the corner type. To Julian's point.
do it though.
However, whatever we see tonight, they better figure it out. And by they, I'm adding in Jonathan Clay Reddick as well. Okay. We
if
fired.
we lose tonight, we're going to
fire.
sweep.
Hey, we fire coaches for far, far less.
If we lose tonight, we're getting swept. In like a vicious fashion too. It'll be like a 30 ball the next
I don't
game.
think that's true.
And they're going to lay down. If we lose tonight, this is over, bro.
I don't think that's true, bro. You still have LeBron and Luka. Like these are guys who have been in the playoffs many of times. Best scorers in the playoffs. Like
Doesn't matter.
it comes down to Reeves. I think Reeves has a good game. Like they're gonna be hard to beat.
Comes down to these.
And if they get
They're
they have
setting them up. This always happens. They're setting them up.
Hey, they are setting it up, Drew. No, I see it. I'm witnessing it, actually. No, I am witnessing it. Because
Bro.
Reeves has been tough all year. All year long. Like,
We're acting like Julius Randle and Ant-Man can't lay an egg. I've seen Julius Randle do that countless times. Ant-Man did it in the most important game last playoffs.
good take. They can. No, they definitely can. But understand, Ant-Man is a gamer. He doesn't want to lose to the Lakers. What? Is that a joke? Yeah, anyway, I take $5.
Did you see how much fun he was having in game one?
Yeah.
Bro, come on, bro.
Did you see what he screamed at the crowd?
50K was fun.
Did you see what he screamed at the crowd?
Yes, I saw.
He's having a great time.
Yeah.
That's not a good
sure.
sign for us.
It's always
We
cute.
beat-
Like, oh no, it's cute.
No, I'm just saying the Lakers got to get it back tonight. I'm not saying the series is over at all. Lakers have a good shot. They have a better team. I think it would be unacceptable to lose. I've been telling y'all. So
And Drew, to your point, I hope we get it done in a convincing fashion. Like,
hey, you got to take their heart tonight.
10-point
Early
victory. Like, give me a 10-point victory, something like that.
tonight, yeah.
It'll be a fight, but give me a 10-point victory, pull away at the end, that type of thing. Like, then we could go out to the cold in Minnesota. But we'll see what happens though. Y'all got any last minute takes before I make this food and watch this game?
No.
All right, let's do it, man. I take 4. Make sure y'all follow us on all social media platforms, YouTube. I don't know what just happened, but make sure y'all follow us on all platforms, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, X, TikTok, and the like, daily content. We'll see y'all next Tuesday, though. We'll see y'all next Tuesday.